Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the Platts Picks pod. I am your host, Smitty. I remembered to put my Twitter handle down below my
There you go.
face from now on. And I say it every week. This could not be the Platts Picks pod without Platt. What is going on?
What's going on, man? How are you?
If you would have asked me prior to last night's bets, I would have said fantastic. However, last night happened. I was on Twitter. I was boasted about how good I was recently with player props across all leagues, right?
Yeah.
Yesterday, it hit me hard. I got hit. I got punched in the mouth. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
I'm getting
Yeah.
ratioed in the YouTube comments already right now. We all know Steph Curry isn't the best point guard in the NBA, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah. So what we're going to be doing, and I mentioned this on the last episode, and it's going to continue on. The beginning of the show is going to be all bets that are not NFL or college football related. We call them like miscellaneous right now, especially with NBA going on. Ryan has gotten more into hockey recently. I've always been into hockey, but I'm betting on it a lot more than I used to. I don't know if you have anything on the World Series. I did not bet on this game, especially with the results of game one being what it was. I'm kind of scared to touch game two. But yeah, I mean, so we're going to kind of just go through them. We should probably start with the games that started as we started the show at 7 o'clock, just because people are going to think, oh, these guys are just, they're basing their bets off what we see already happening as opposed to what we had in our notes already. Smitty didn't bet the 3x2. What a shame. What's that?
It's on FanDuel. It's such a good bet.
What am I missing here? What am I missing out on?
Hold on. Let's see if they're up. Because you could probably still get in. Because is that Mike from Illinois?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like his.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
Yeah, it's on FanDuel.
All right, well, I'm going to have to look into this, but every Tuesday and Thursday, NBA TNT games.
There it is, yep.
News to me, but yeah, I won't miss it from now on.
Yeah, it's like
I'm a degenerate, so you got me.
He got me hooked on them, and it's all downhill from there.
Okay, word. All right, Mike. Anyway, we want to kick this off with the games that we're starting at 7 o'clock. Ryan, I'll let you bring up the Hornets one because you were kind of on them very early today. If you are not in our Discord yet, you need to get in our Discord. I mentioned how bad of a night that I had yesterday. Ryan actually had a pretty decent one. So if you're in the Discord and you were just following what Ryan was doing and not me, you actually probably made out pretty well. But go ahead.
Yeah, yesterday, real quick, we had Knicks money line that smacked. We had the under in the Thunder and Warriors game. And that was looking a little nervous at first, but it ended up slowing down. And we also were on the Warriors minus 9.5, but Steph Curry or whoever it was decided to go over and back. But tonight, I do like the Hornets minus 5.5. They played Boston real tough. And now they're going up against a Magic team tonight where I think this line should be higher.
Yeah, I told you. They beat the Knicks. One time they had like a home and home.
Yeah, they've lucked up beating the Knicks. The Knicks were up 10 in that game going into the fourth, and Terrence Ross scored 25 points in the fourth quarter. I just don't see the Magic staying with them. They don't have the firepower that the Hornets do on offense.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm tailing you with that. And then Cody Coleman chimed in on this same bet in the Discord and said, let's add a LaMelo Ball double-double to that bet, and you can get that at, what, plus 340?
Yeah, I think it was around 340, yeah.
If you combine those two things. So at least 3 of us from the Discord are riding that bet. We'll see if that comes to fruition. That game is one of the ones that started at 7 o'clock, so I wanted to bring that up right away. Ryan, do you want to save that other one for last? Because I know you have more action on the Hornets. You put them as part of a parlay.
Yeah. I'll just say the parlay now because I actually think the Hornets game starts in like 4 minutes, actually. I think it starts at 7:10 maybe.
Okay.
So I have a 3-team parlay. It's all money line. It's just the Hornets, the Atlanta Hawks, and the Milwaukee Bucks. This is on DraftKings, and the odds come out to plus 210. So just a small 3-teamer.
Mike said, "What the heck is a Discord?" Yeah, I mean, DJ's in here right now. He said it's another type of chat room. But DJ, how are you going to ask why I'm wearing glasses indoors? Have you never watched Pardon My Take with PFT? This is essentially what I'm trying to recreate here on this show. This is my way of, you don't necessarily get all the personality from me on the regular Around the 412 show, or even so much the fantasy football show. This is where you're getting Smitty, not just Zach Smith.
There we go.
All right, so sticking with the NBA, man, I actually got a lot of props in the NBA tonight. So let's talk about this Boston-Washington game first, because I got a couple in this one. I'm going Jason Tatum over 6.5 rebounds. He's hit that number in 3 of the Celtics' first 4 games. Al Horford is playing, but he's got a banged-up hip. So I think that his minutes are going to kind of be limited. And I'm just thinking, other than Robert Williams, who's really going to attack the glass for the Celtics? It's got to be somebody to step up there. I think Jason Tatum is that guy tonight. And then on the reverse side of that, Kyle Kuzma, who I am not a fan of, by the way, as a player. But his number for threes is still at 1.5. And this dude is attempting 7 a game right now through these first few games for the Wizards. He's got to make 2 of those. That's all I'm asking. 2 of 7 he can be from the 3-point mark, and he will hit this number. I just think that you look at that volume, and it's too insane not to put something on if he's attempting 7 a game. So that's where I'm at with that game. Tyrese Halliburton for the Sacramento Kings. I'm going over 4.5 assists here. He's averaging 6 a game right now. The Kings offense right now is actually a top 10 offense in the NBA. I know it's a very small sample size, but they're averaging about 103 points per game. The efficiency has been there. It's not going to continue, but hey, we might as well keep riding this while it is hot. Tyrese Halliburton is a very good passer of the basketball. So I think that this continues at least one more night. And then Evan Mobley, over 7.5 rebounds. Right now he's averaging 8.3. They're going against the Clippers tonight, who are 29th in the lead right now in rebounding. So I like him to hit that number.
Those are some nice prop bets. Let's hope you don't get punched in the mouth again.
And then, the last one I added right before this, and I put this in the Discord as well. Bam Adebayo of the Heat. He is at, what is that number? 26.5, I think it was.
Yeah,
26.5 points plus rebounds. Right now, those 2 stats combined, he's averaging 31.7 in that category. Or that doesn't even make sense. 31.5 in that category. I actually hit 7. Brooklyn is an average rebounding team. They're 14th right now in rebounds. But listen to this. They're even worse defensive rebounding. They are 25th in the lead right now in allowing offensive rebounds. So I think Bam gets after it tonight. He could be on double-double watch. That might not be a bad one to place as well.
Yeah, and it's not like the Nets have like some crazy center it's like, we'll grab all these rebounds. You know, they're pretty old, you know. LaMarcus Aldridge is not going to dominate the glass anymore.
LaMarcus Aldridge retired for like a year.
Yeah, and now he's back. So I'm not too sure exactly what's going on from there. But I do have one more since we're talking about the NBA. Mm-hmm. We are riding the road dogs, Memphis Grizzlies, money line. Ja Morant is a small issue so far this season. He just dropped 40 against the Lakers.
And Portland, they're not off to a great start.
Portland just refuses to play defense, and if Dame's not on, it happened the other night against the Clippers. The Portland couldn't make a shot, and they were down 25 at halftime.
Yeah, I really think they're missing Norman Powell right now, honestly. I think that he's a bigger piece of that team than people think. Tony Snell's not a very good offensive player, but I think they're missing him on the defensive side of the floor as well. Portland, not a very good team right now. I like that pick if you're looking for an upset. Switching to the NHL before we get into the big NFL and college slates, I got a couple plays here. Unfortunately, if you didn't get into my Austin Matthews one in the Discord, you can't now. They took that out of there. They're probably like, okay, this is ridiculous. We can't let people make this much money. They had Austin Matthews over 4.5 shots at plus money, plus 110 to be exact. And I was able to get that, but I'm not sure if you're not in the Discord, you weren't able to get that. The reason that I was looking at that, I'm being redundant now, even talk about this since it's not on there, but the dude is finally starting to find his game. I'm not sure that Toronto as a whole necessarily is, but he's looked a lot better these last couple games. He's hit that number in 2 of the last 4 for the Leafs. He also scored a goal in their last game. And let's talk about the opponent, Chicago. I mean, if you've been following the NHL at all this year, you know that they're probably the worst defense and goaltending team right now. Not sure what's going on with Marc-Andre Fleury. He doesn't have much help on defense either, but it's just not been a good situation. So that's one of my NHL bets. I got Red Wings and Caps, plus 100 here again. plus money somehow on this, over 6.5. Both offenses have just been ridiculous. The Red Wings offense, once again, similarly to I think the Sacramento Kings in the NBA, is right now a top 10 unit that I don't expect them to be. And this is without the power play for either side clicking. They're both in the bottom 5 in terms of power play. So I think that this goes over that 6.5. That's actually even climbed right now, I believe, to 7.
Yeah,
so
I was at 7
I'm not.
last I looked.
Yeah. So I don't know that I would touch that because that means they got to score 8 combined goals. You're getting a little tricky there for me. Dallas and Vegas, so boring. I mean, I'm going under 5.5 here. Dallas just does not want to actually play hockey. They want to score 1 goal and then sit back in a trap and relax. It's just so frustrating to watch. We saw it against the Pens on Mike Lang night where they just shut it down. They score a goal and that's all they want to do is just shut the game down. And then on the Vegas side of that, their offense right now is just not doing what I expected it to do. I understand they're without Match Patch Ready and Mark Stone right now, but guys like William Karlsson and Jonathan Marchessault have not stepped up yet. Also, Robin Lehner is not in net for Vegas. So I don't know. I'll go under 5.5 there, and that wraps up my NHL plays.
Dude, real quick, I know because you were complaining last night in the Discord about how terrible the Canadians are. Weren't they just in the Stanley Cup?
Yeah, they were, but Carey Price isn't with them right now. He's away from the team. Extended leave of absence, and also Shea Weber is on long-term IR.
Man, because
that they also lost their best defensive forward. He signed with the Kings on a 5-year deal. Why can I not remember his name right now? Man, but he's a very good defensive center. He got overpaid for sure because he played in a cup, and that's typically the way that happens.
So I'll say because against the Kraken last night, I thought they would beat them. I didn't have any action.
I took them plus 1.5, just thinking.
But yeah, you said that in the Discord when I asked you about the Wild. But
Philip Dano, that's what I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, yeah. So they lost a couple pieces, but yeah, that just doesn't make sense. That fall from grace the way it has. They don't have a win yet this year. So, did you put together an NHL play or no? You ended up.
I tailed your over 6.5.
Okay.
But the slate kind of is just I don't know. It's all over the place. So
yeah, it's disgusting, especially once they took that Matthews prop away.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on to the NFL, then tomorrow night we got, and these numbers could have actually changed since I looked at them because there's been more news on Green Bay. As of when I put this together, Arizona 6.5 point favorites over Green Bay. The total was at 50.5. What's your play here?
Oh man, I mean, okay. Don't send hate my way here.
Okay.
I think Green Bay covers the 6.5.
Okay.
I really do. I think 6 points is too much to spot Aaron Rodgers on a Thursday Night Football. I know he's without 2 receivers, but he still has the running game. Still has Aaron Jones, Dylan. He still has Tanyan, the tight end, and he has his best friend Randall Cobb. That'll probably just pop off. Like
I believe Valdez Scantling's coming off IR for this game as well.
I just feel like it's too much points to spot Aaron Rodgers.
I haven't decided necessarily where I'm going with this yet. I know Cody Coleman said he's going over. I put up the red flag emoji to that. I'm thinking, honestly, I might go under on this. And the reason is I hate these short weeks, especially I know that this total is where it's at because of the 2 offenses, the Cardinals' high-powered offense and Aaron Rodgers, despite the weapons, they're expecting him to put up points. I'm just thinking, man, I think that this is going to be a much sloppier football game than people expect on a short week. I haven't locked that in yet. As of right now, I have nothing on this. I know for sure that I'll do something with it, whether it's just player props or whatever. But yeah, I don't like this situation for Green Bay. And I don't, as a football fan, obviously I like watching another football game on Thursday night, but just from a quality perspective, it typically sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. And there really hasn't been a good Thursday game yet, right? I could be wrong. I don't think.
Which one was Cincy? Who did Cincy play on Thursday?
Oh, they play the Jags, but I mean, that was
24-20.
Yeah. So I mean, it's nothing crazy yet. Watch this week be the game that is great.
Yeah, actually, Tampa Bay Dallas to start the year, the first game of the season was probably the best one.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, moving on to the next one then. This is not a line I would have expected to see at the beginning of the year because I thought one of these teams was going to be much better. Buffalo is 13.5-point favorites on the Dolphins with a 49.5-point total here. Um, you you've watched the Dolphins play and you understand why this is what the spread is, but it's just crazy because I expected Miami to be a decent team this year, like competing for a wild card type team.
Yeah, they're sitting at 1-6.
Yeah.
And now there's talks about Deshaun Watson coming there or something. I just don't get that. You just drafted Tua 2 years ago, and now you I don't know if this is. I don't even know what this is. It just makes no sense why you would want to trade for him. You're just you're just sending them picks to get Deshaun Watson. Like he's.
Yeah, I guess the way that they'd be looking at it is, this is probably the time to do it because why in the AFC East is there always only one good team?
Yeah.
Like it was the Patriots and then they just transitioned it to the Bills and everybody else still stinks. Like New England's okay, I guess, but they're not competing with that roster. Like they'll stay in pretty much every game and maybe they'll be around like the 8th seed. Maybe they sneak in here and there, but they have a long way to go in my opinion before they're actually competing. I guess that they just see a window of opportunity there. And, not that I'm necessarily high on Tua, but yeah, it does seem a little wild to me that he's only made a handful of starts and people have their mind made up about him. I understand the whole lefty quarterback thing. I really do. But Drew said, Smitty, how do we not mention Cobb last night?
Wow.
I don't know. We probably should have. Yeah.
I should have been on the show.
We had the Lazard news already, and I brought up Randall Cobb a couple of times. Like the fact that Aaron Rodgers wanted him there so bad, you'd think that his usage would be higher. He really only had the one decent game, and guess who it came against? The Steelers.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's just this is just a dumb game, and Cobb is just going to catch like 2 touchdowns or something.
That's not a bad dart throw.
Yeah,
like a DFS play or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you have anything on this game? I mean, how confident
no.
you feel about?
I mean. Bills are coming off a bye, but still, I mean,
and a loss.
And a loss. So I'm not touching it, but I mean, I just don't see the Dolphins keeping it close. But that's 2 touchdowns. The spread is 2 touchdowns. Like how
well,
often?
That's the thing is, think about it. They could be down 21 points or 20 points and then score a touchdown late, and all of a sudden they're not covering.
Yeah, no. I can't do it.
Drew said Myles Gaskin sucks. Myles Gaskin was like he was like the chink in the armor of what my prop bets were doing. I was soaring high.
There is no way he's an actual NFL running back. That dude is terrible.
I don't have anything on this game either. We keep dancing around this, but no, I'm not touching a 13.5 line for a team in Miami that I think I'm just waiting for them to figure out defensively. Like offensively, whatever. Like I didn't expect them to necessarily be good on offense, but that defense, I just can't understand it. What they're doing. 2 teams going in opposite directions here. Atlanta back in the playoff mix now. They're 3-point favorites against Carolina. Imagine saying that a couple weeks ago with 46 points as the total.
Dude, I don't care that the Carolina Panthers have stabbed me in the heart past couple weeks. I can't back Matt Ryan as a favorite. I just can't do it. So, with that being said, we're going Carolina Panthers money line.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I know they stabbed me in the heart. Blah blah blah.
I'm surprised you're not holding that grudge.
I probably should be, but it's just whatever at this point. I just can't. I don't have faith in the Falcons. Last week they should have won by 14.
Yeah,
and they blew that lead again, and they only ended up winning by 2.
The only thing that gives me hope is it feels like Matt Ryan has finally realized what he is at this point and what he needs to be. Like he can't play hero ball at this stage of his career. He's getting Kyle Pitts involved, who has over 300 yards.
He needs to realize to start throwing the ball to Calvin Ridley as well.
Yeah. He did target him 10 times. It's just he only got 4 of them actually to Calvin Ridley last week.
I know.
But I'm actually on the other side of this. I think Atlanta covers this. Their offensive EPA is top 5 in the last 3 weeks. Until that starts to trend back down, I don't see why 2 teams going in the opposite direction, how I can do it. I understand completely where you're coming from. This is kind of a toss-up for me. If I think Atlanta's going to win this game, I might as well pick them to win by more than a field goal. That's the way I'm looking at it.
Okay.
All right, Philly and Detroit here. Philly is 3.5-point favorites. The total is 48. I'm going to just say it right now. This is one of my upsets.
I actually have that down as well.
Really? All right. Well,
I do.
We can. I got some notes on it, so I'll save it until we do the upset parlay.
Yeah, I mean, we can wait. I mean, the Lions have to win at some point, but
Mike
there's more. There's more on why.
$10 parlay on Steelers money line, Rams minus 14.5, Bears money line pays $119.50. The Bears against San Fran without Khalil Mack though. I don't know. Not a bad bet, especially with that payout. That's pretty solid. But okay, so the next one is going to be Tennessee, just 1-point favorites here against Indy. The total's 48. I'm going Tennessee -1. I mean, I think they're going to win this game. Obviously, it's going to have to be by. I don't think it's going to just be by 1 point. I might as well pick them to cover that 1 point. So I will do so. What say you?
So the line has shifted, and now the Colts are favorites.
Oh,
so
even better. So I could are the Titans at plus money, or are they both negative?
They are plus 104 at the moment.
Oh wow! What happened? Why?
I don't know.
Did somebody see that that garbage site that put out their own power rankings and had the Colts at 6 for whatever reason?
Hold on, let me just double check. Because earlier when I was looking, they were right now Titans are plus 104 on FanDuel.
Yeah, I got it on that
right now. Because Colts were favorites earlier. Now it's no, the Colts were dogs, and now they're favorites. I don't get it. Don't know why, but
I'm putting my house on it.
Yeah, I mean Derrick Henry's playing out of his mind.
So are you got Tennessee as well?
Yeah, I mean I had Tennessee money line when they were
right. Okay.
favorites. I mean if they're dogs, I'm taking it. It was the same thing as last week when they murdered the Chiefs.
Yeah. Facts. Rams are 14.5-point favorites over the Texans. 48 points is the total. I know this is a high spread. I'm taking the Rams to cover it though.
Yeah,
I mean,
here.
Houston's god awful, and they just traded Mark Ingram, which from a football standpoint, I don't necessarily think does much. From a locker room standpoint, I think the Texans are going to be pretty upset. We already saw Brandon Cooks speak out on about it.
Yeah.
I think that this is a blow to that locker room that definitely didn't need another blow to happen. We'll see if the Deshaun Watson situation also has any more clarity before this game gets played. But yeah, I got the Rams covering 14.5.
Yeah, I mean, I've been on the Rams all year because I have that future on the Rams
to
win
right.
The division, and I threw something on them to win the Super Bowl. So, it's 14.5. The Texans suck.
Also a rather large spread here. Cincinnati, 10.5-point favorites on the Jets.
I want to talk about this.
So here's the thing about this. Actually, so if you were able to get on this bet early before last Sunday's game against the Ravens, Cincinnati was 3-point favorites for this game against the Jets. After beating the Ravens in the way that they did, they're now 10.5-point favorites against the Jets. I'm sure Zach Wilson not playing also plays into this. All these factors, like how in the world are the Jets going to lose by less than what the Ravens did? That's how I'm looking at it. I know it's a rather large spread. I'm going Cincinnati to cover this.
I'm on the other side.
I know that you are. I saw your action.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to hear this.
So there's only one reason I'm on the Jets. If Flacco starts and plays.
They already said that he's not.
Never mind then. Because if Flacco would have started, I mean, he's
played Cincinnati 2 times for a long time too.
Twice. I mean, we all make fun of Flacco, but I mean, he gets the job done. Throw it deep. Get a couple.
I expected that he would be. However, Robert Saleh came out today and named Mike White the starter for this game.
Well, I mean, it's already tracked on action, so I'll throw $10 on it. Whatever.
Yeah, I was like, man, I saw that and I was like, he's got to have something like Cincinnati.
That's really the reason. Something like Zach Wilson. I mean, he's gonna have a good future, I think. But just right now, I feel like with rookie quarterbacks, people rush their expectations.
Oh, we're about to find out pretty soon for Steelers too.
Yeah, I mean, Zach Wilson was drafted super high, too. So everyone wants him to come right in and be like, I hate to compare, but Ben, Ben came in, won like what 15 games,
Yeah, and that's the other part is it's not necessarily no one really cares about the personal success. If the team has success, that's all they really care
Yeah.
about.
I think he's going to be great, Zach
Yeah.
Wilson. You just got
But
to give him time.
here's
And the
why
perk.
they have.
Hold
Go
on,
ahead.
real quick. The perk of being good in college is you join a terrible team at the draft.
Yeah.
So why not just suck? Go to the draft.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
No, but I think
clip it and post it later.
I think two parts of it. There's two things I wanted to bring up real quick before we move on. How did we get started? Is this a New York Jets podcast? No, but why there's some hope there. One, I mean, I think that Robert Saleh was the right hire for that team. But I think that you look at who right now are the best two teams, or from each conference, who's the best team? The Cardinals. They had the first overall pick as recently as 2019. Cincinnati had the first overall pick in 2020. And look at where those teams are right now.
Mm-hmm.
They can turn it around quick. It's about pushing the right buttons. Will the Jets do that? I don't know. I think that they got the right coach. Do they have the right front office and pieces to build around? I don't know. I think that there's a lot of work to be done there. I don't know that they're going to do it in such short order as Cincinnati or Arizona, but there's some
draft good. They just got to draft good.
Oh God, we got to talk about another Ohio team. The Browns are 3.5-point favorites over the Steelers. 42.5 points is the total. This is the one that everyone's like, oh, we can't wait to see what they're going to say on this. I don't bet on these games, by the way. I will not bet on the Steelers. The only thing that I'll do with the Steelers games is player props. We'll see what Najee's number's at. We'll see what Deontay Johnson's number's at. Other than that, we'll see. Oh, and are they going to continue to only have Pat Freiermuth's receptions at 1.5? Because if so, I'll hammer that. Where's my hammer? Here it is. I actually got it nearby me this week. I will hammer that 1.5 if they give it to me again. Just know that.
I don't like to bet on the Steelers, but I think I will this week.
Wow. Okay.
I think they beat the Browns. I really do. I mean they're coming off a bye, but still, they got 2 good wins. If the defense will tackle this week in the second half instead of letting Alex Collins run all over the place.
Yeah, it sounds like Nick Chubb could be back. It sounds like Baker Mayfield might be back. Listen, I brought this up multiple times to multiple people. To me, you look at the situation with Baker Mayfield, and it's admirable that he wants to play through this. It's just not necessary. Like, what is he going to do at the way that he is right now, with how banged up he is, with what that shoulder's like? I understand it's not on his throwing shoulder, but let's think about this not just from a physical standpoint. Think about this from a mental standpoint, because his entire focus while trying to play football now is going to be protecting that shoulder. He knows he has to have surgery on it after the year. How is he supposed to compete in a football game at a high level knowing that he's got to protect that left shoulder, especially against a pass rush like the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I
think it's going to hurt the team, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure he makes it through this game.
If TJ keeps living in the backfield, it's not going to happen. So,
Flacco won't even be with the Jets until Friday.
Well, it's already tracked, so can't go back from now. So,
this game already got brought up because Mike's betting on it. San Francisco 3.5-point favorites over Chicago. 39.5 points. 39.5 points. What is this? Penn State, Indiana? What are we doing?
With no Khalil Mack, I know it's tough, but Niners. Yeah, no.
You're having like a conversation with yourself about what you're going to do with this.
Just don't overthink it.
Yeah,
feed Allen Robinson because I bought low in fantasy. That's all I'm saying.
Man,
I bought super low on him. So
he got dropped in 2 out of the 4 league or 2 of the 3 leagues. I should say.
Yeah, well, the guy wanted to drop him, and I was like, "What do you want?" And he goes, "Here, just give me him." I was like, "All right, see you."
It's tough, man. That's a tough situation. You would think that like from the beginning of the year, it's like everybody is an Allen Robinson owner. It's like, yeah, make Justin Fields a quarterback. Matt Nagy is awful. By the way, it's nothing short of a miracle that Mitch Trubisky got to the playoffs twice with Matt Nagy as head coach.
When is the Bears bye? It's coming up, right?
Nick, I don't know what type of drink Platt is drinking right now.
Mountain Dew, baby.
What'd you say?
Whatever week the Bears bye week isn't it coming up?
It's probably right after the Steeler game.
He should be fired. Honestly,
should be fired now.
I mean, yeah, he should be fired a couple
Let
weeks
Nick
ago,
Foles or Andy Dalton be the head coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got San Fran covering 3.5 as well. Next game, Seattle 3.5-point favorites on the Jags. 43.5 points is the total. This is going to surprise people. The Jags is another one of my upsets.
Really? Okay.
They are.
Well, we can save to talk about that then for your upset.
Okay. Chargers 5.5-point favorites on the Patriots. 48.5 points is the total. I've seen a lot of people that I follow on Action or on New England here at plus 5.5. I'm not betting it.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to touch it. Maybe in like a teaser or something, but I'm probably just going to stay away.
Teasers.
You could.
We have to see what our teaser king thinks.
I know he hit 2 teasers last weekend.
It was the one we put up on here. So if anybody was watching and was with that, then there you go. You made out. Denver 3-point favorites on the Washington football team. 43.5 is the total here. This is the third and final of my upsets. So,
okay.
Do you got anything on this?
I'm not touching the game personally, but
this sounds like a fun one. Denver and Washington. That'll be a fun game. Tampa Bay 5-point favorites against New Orleans. 49.5 points is the total. I'm going Tampa Bay to cover 5 points. That was the worst Monday Night Football game that I've ever watched, I think, between the Saints and Seahawks. If I could have bet against both of those teams in that same game, I would have. I mean, I'm very
would have smacked.
I know.
The under in the first half. The under in the first half was like 17, I think it was.
I alternated the total points to 31.5, and that didn't happen. That is disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, now, do you think both offenses are that bad, or do you think the rain was a big part of it?
It was a bit of the rain and wind, but I do think that both offenses are that bad. Without Russell Wilson,
Smith just is not an NFL quarterback.
How do you? He threw an 84-yard touchdown and still didn't have 200 yards passing.
It makes no sense that was it.
He threw an 84-yard touchdown and said, "That's it. I'm done.
Yeah,
I don't need to be here anymore." The run did exactly what I expected it to. Alex Collins did go under. That was another prop that I had.
That's right. You put that in the Discord.
Rashad Penny coming back, and they have a committee there along with DJ Dallas and Travis Homer as well. And then on the Saints side of things, I mean, Jameis Winston is 2020 Ben. What are they doing? And that's the thing is even in his 30-30 season, he was airing the ball out. Obviously, he was taking those chances. I would rather watch Jameis do that, but the offense is just not built to do that. It's literally all Alvin Kamara, and he's catching balls behind or right at the line of scrimmage, and they're just saying, see what you can do after the catch, which is great. I mean, he's one of the most dynamic players in football, but they're not stretching the field at all. They're not putting up points. They had like a 13-play drive that resulted in 3 points and took like 10 minutes. Actually, it was more than 13 plays. It was 13 plays by the time they got to midfield. Disgusting. Horrible football. I'm mad. I'm getting off track, but I'm upset at both teams. So, yeah, I'm picking Tampa Bay to cover 5 points.
That's fair.
I don't care if AB's in a boot and probably going on IR. I'm done. I'm done with the Saints and the Seahawks. So, I have the Seahawks losing to an underdog Jaguars team, and then I have Tampa covering against New Orleans. So, do you have anything on this? Tampa, New Orleans?
Tampa. I mean... Yeah, Tampa. That's it. Brady.
I like this a lot. Actually, this is one of my locks probably of the week. Dallas 2.5-point favorites against Minnesota. 55 points is the total. I'm on Dallas 2.5 here. Kirk Cousins is 1-7 against the spread as underdogs at home. So I'm going Dallas here. I think everything's kind of clicking for them. I know Dak might be dealing with a little bit of a calf injury there from the end of that game, throwing that touchdown pass, but he had the week off. I still think, and they can, even if that's the case, they can lean so heavily. Like Zeke looks like he's back close to prime Zeke. Tony Pollard behind him, the weapons Dak has, he doesn't have to be a superhero in that offense. Just get these guys the ball. So I like Dallas to cover that 2.5.
I'm just confused on why the spread's so low. Maybe it's the injury.
Minnesota's been a little bit better the last couple weeks, I guess. But yeah, I mean, they went to overtime with Carolina, and we've seen what Carolina's been.
I'll probably be on Dallas as well. I just don't know why it's so low. And now I didn't know that stat about Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
he does not like that. Okay? He does not,
and neither do Vikings fans.
Yeah. So yeah.
Now, to wrap things up here, Kansas City. You always hate hearing what the spread is for Kansas City games.
I mean, they stink, man.
10-point favorites against the Giants. Total is going to be 52.5.
Giants plus 10.
How can it not be?
How can you feel confident in any Chiefs play right now? Their defense couldn't stop me and you running the ball. That's how bad it is. Mahomes is just throwing picks left and right.
I might be able to take Tyrann Mathieu's ankles right now. Honestly.
I don't know they've always had a bad defense. You know? But now they can't score at will for some reason.
Yeah, I think
they revamped the line and everything.
Yeah,
that's what everyone was talking about in the offseason.
I think the thing with Pat, I don't even think that Mahomes is playing all that terrible right now. He's only thrown 6 turnover-worthy plays, yet he has 9 interceptions. A lot of it is just bad luck. His receivers aren't catching the ball. His offensive line stinks. But I think with him, when he is trying to do too much, I think it's just that. He's trying to play hero. He's overcompensating for a very bad defense and an offensive line that's not playing up to the standard that I think that they're going to eventually get to with cohesion, because there's a lot of talent on that offensive line. They're just not there yet collectively. So I mean, his brother sucks. That could be part of this.
Yeah, his brother.
His
Stop
home
making
life.
The TikToks. Stop making the TikToks.
I think we're seeing his home life. We're seeing his home life creep into his football life here.
He's going to snap on both of them. Stop making the TikToks.
If I see him absolutely blow up on his fiance/wife, I don't even know if they're married yet or whatever, and brother, I will place a $100 wager on an MVP bet for Patrick Mahomes. I don't care where he's at right now, what his odds are. If I see that happen, he's all the way back. Until that day comes, I'm not touching the spread. I'm going under on the points. 52.5.
I mean, they looked terrible last week against Tennessee, who doesn't even have like a top tier defense.
No, not at all.
That total last week was at 57,
mm-hmm.
And it didn't even come close.
It did not. I mean, Kansas City scored 3, so
yeah,
I think it was 34 total points were scored in that game or something like that. So my upset parlay, I already brought up the teams. I got Jacksonville with the upset of Seattle. I got Detroit with the upset of Philadelphia, and I got Washington with the upset of Denver. $10 on that will win you $139.83. That's 3 underdogs on the money line. I don't know why it keeps happening, but one team out of the 3 is losing every single week. It's only hit one time, the upset parlay.
Now, if you can get Tennessee, are you adding them, or are you just going to just leave them out?
If they're plus money, I would probably put them on there. I feel pretty good about these ones. I know that last week I didn't love my upset parlay. I just had to kind of find 3 underdogs. I think last week, if that were the case, I probably would have replaced one of them. This week, I feel pretty good about these 3, and I might just add a 4th team to it if I can get Tennessee plus money. So, primetime Kirk Cousins. That's another thing. Hey, forget about his against the spread at home as underdogs. Just think about the fact that Kirk Cousins is playing in prime time. Detroit is better than what the record shows. I tend to agree. I think that, again, Dan Campbell, they're playing tough for him. They're in a lot of football games. They just have not won a single one yet.
They should have 2 wins.
Yeah.
At least 2 wins.
And they don't. And it's causing their coach to have mental breakdowns pretty much after every game. So.
Yeah.
All right, so switching to college football then. This is just some plays that we got. This one, and I got some notes on all of these as well. University of Louisiana Monroe. I'm digging into the archives here for this one. Plus 27.5 versus App State. So they won this year. They have wins this year as 13.5, 23.5, and 33.5 point dogs. I'm not saying they covered the spread. I'm saying they won outright in those games as that many points of an underdog. They went from 0-10 last year. They're now 4-3 this season so far. So App State, I know that they're coming off that big win against Coastal Carolina. I think they have a little bit of a letdown. I still think they win this game. I just think that 28 points is way too high of a total for, again, a team that's already covered three. I'm not covered. I'm sorry. One outright as underdogs at 13.5, 23.5, and 33.
I didn't even think of picking that game, to be honest with you.
I had to go fishing to find that one.
Okay. For my first pick, I actually gave this out on Cody Coleman's Monday night thing, the Monday Night Money or whatever it's called.
I believe that's the name. Yeah.
Michigan State money line.
Oh,
I think they're the
Sparty.
second. I think they are the second best team in the Big Ten.
I thought you were saying college football.
No. That's Pitt.
Because I know that they're the only, them and Georgia, I think, are the only two teams that have like a top 10 graded offense and defense in all of college football.
I love Michigan State. Michigan has looked good though, but just like that stat you said, I like Michigan State's running game. You know, they've been playing really good defense. This is kind of to prove it, I feel like, for Harbaugh, you know. So let's just but I think Michigan State wins this, to be honest. I mean, if you don't want to like go, the money line's 165. I think it's 4.5 is the spread.
Okay. Fresno State and San Diego State. I'm going under 45.5 here. The defenses are allowing 22 and 14 points per game collectively. Obviously, that's well under that under. Neither offense is very good. They're both in like the 150th in the country in offense. So I think that this is just strength against strength, weakness against weakness. Strength against weakness, weakness against strength on both sides of the football. I think both the defenses have very good days. Both the offenses have very bad days. I think that this is a game that ends up like 17-10.
Okay. I have not to stay in the Big Ten, but Ohio State.
Hey, keep it coming.
Minus 18.5 against Penn State. I hate Penn State. Penn State stinks. Ohio State has looked so much better.
I know. You remember like the first episode?
Yeah, you were like they weren't covering versus who was it, Akron or something? You're like, I will not put my money on that. They've looked like a completely different football team.
Like CJ Stroud, he looked awful those first couple of games, and all of a sudden we're talking about him as a Heisman candidate.
Yeah, he has completely turned it around. They have one of the best running backs, you know, in the country in Henderson,
and the best receiving duo.
Yeah, they're averaging, I think, 9 yards a carry. That is insane.
Yeah, they've really turned it on.
I don't think this is even close, to be honest. Penn State last week was favored by 18. They scored 18 points at home.
Yeah, there wasn't 40 total points in that game, despite it going 9 overtimes.
Yeah, no, Penn State is not keeping it close this week. I just don't see it.
I do. I think Penn State's defense is all right, but yeah, I have to agree. I don't think that they have enough firepower to score with Ohio State, and I think that Ohio State's still going to do enough offensively. I'm going to go Kentucky -1 against Mississippi State. Kentucky's only loss this year is to Georgia, and they're the number 1 team in the country. They're allowing just 200 passing yards per game is Kentucky. What does Mississippi State like to do? They pass the ball 76% of their offensive plays.
Yeah,
I think
that Madden.
Yeah, literally, they're just not going to run the ball. So this is exactly what Kentucky wants. This is the type of football game that they win. -1, yeah, no point taking them on the money line. You might as well pick them to cover -1.
This is Iowa and my favorite team to bet against, Wisconsin. I have 2 plays for this game.
All right.
One is the under 37. I know you're thinking like, Wow, you're such an idiot. 37 points. Yeah, Wisconsin sucks. I'm sorry.
Don't make me
Hey,
say his name. Do
yeah,
not make me
please,
say his
please
name
don't.
again.
This is like a Wisconsin free zone. I have that, and then I have Iowa money line at plus 145.
I can get behind that. You know why I can get behind that? My upset parlay.
Okay.
Iowa over Wisconsin.
Okay.
Ole Miss over Auburn.
Yes. Yes.
And Indiana over Maryland.
Okay.
$10 on that wins you $139.50. I mean, Iowa, Wisconsin, I feel like you kind of already talked about that. Ole Miss, I'm just going to back Matt Corral until he's a Steeler. So, in Indiana, Maryland, that's an interesting one. Indiana, we're not sure about Michael Penix Jr. if he's going to be able to return this week. If he doesn't, they're actually going to be down to their third string quarterback. But this is how low I think of that Maryland offense and Tagovailoa's brother that's there right now. I just think Maryland stinks. I've watched like 3 of their football games this year. I think that Indiana, regardless of who's playing quarterback, they win this game.
Okay. I have 2 more college plays.
Yeah, so my super upset, I know that I hope Derek's still in here because I saw him comment Man Campbell earlier, and I hope that he's still in here because he's going to like this upset.
Well, the one pick you already touched on, Ole Miss.
Yes.
I'm on their money line against Auburn. Just like you said, Matt Corral till I can't anymore. He has looked so good.
He's a Steeler.
I would watch that whole game against Tennessee. I think it was he had 30 rushing attempts. But he threw the ball well. He ran the ball well. Obviously, I'm surprised they're even dogs here. So I'm taking them.
Facts. All right, I hope Derek's in here. My super upset. So every week, if you have not been in here, from now on, I'm going to do a Smitty super upset. This is a game that I'm taking a team on the money line with at least plus 400 odds. Did you see last week, man? ECU goes into overtime.
I was watching. Yeah, well, see, I had a parlay. I always do like a 17 parlay of like favorites each week.
Okay.
And I only throw like 15, $20 on it. I had Houston. Houston was the last leg.
Oh, man.
So I was getting nervous. So going to the fourth quarter, I hedged it. And I threw 25 on Eastern Carolina when it was plus 900. And I was like,
yeah, they were actually trailing by like double the 2 scores, I think.
Yeah, so I was like, watch ECU just come back. And the obviously the Eastern Carolina straight would have paid more money.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was like, whatever.
Yeah. So from a betting perspective, like it ended up pushing. I got my $25 back. But like, man, that would have been 2 weeks, like another week in a row of calling something like that. Anyway,
you said you would have retired.
I know I would have retired. I don't know what I'll do if this one hits because this is plus 540 on the money line. Let's talk a little bit of ACC action. I'm going Duke over Wake Forest at plus 540 odds.
Jesus.
$25 wins 135. My reasoning, let's look back to last week, that game with Wake Forest. I know that they won. They put up 70 points, but what happened to them? What did Army do to them? They ran the football. Who's Duke's running back? Mateo Durant, who I think is one of the best in the country that nobody's talking about. Duke's offense is actually 18th in the country. They are better than Wake Forest on offense. And I think defensively, it's a lot closer. Wake Forest allows 5 less points per game, but Duke is right there comparatively with them defensively, and Duke is actually even better than them on third down conversion percentage allowed. So I think this is another one of those games where I think it's just Duke's strength going up against Wake Forest's weakness. Now, is this going to happen? I don't know. I think just has the best opportunity to happen of games that I'm looking at with plus 400 or better odds. Again, what can Wake not do? Stop the run. What can Duke do? They can run the football with Mateo Durant.
Okay. I can definitely get behind that, but here is my last play.
Okay.
I'm going to see if you can guess it. So their money line is plus 300.
Ooh.
But
Who was
this
around
isn't my
Clemson?
pick, but I think they win the game. I'm actually picking them to cover.
Okay. I was looking at, because plus 300 isn't something I could pick for my super upset, but I was.
No, but
Uh,
the game is at 3:30, and it's on ESPN. Go Noles. Florida State
yeah.
plus
Okay.
9.5.
They play Clemson, right?
Yep, sprinkle the money line. Clemson is 0-7 against the spread this year.
Yeah.
They don't even know who's going to play quarterback this week. Like, both of them
true,
played
yeah.
last week against Pitt. Florida State has looked so much better. What, they started at 0-3, I think, or maybe 0-4. Now they're 3-4. They're on the come up. I think this is the perfect spot to bury Clemson even more. I like Florida State to cover the 9.5.
I like it. I don't know if I'll play it, but I like it.
I'm playing it.
So. Yeah, that's about all we got. Listen, guys, again, like I'm trying to provide more reasoning every week now behind my bets. Is Duke going to upset Wake? I don't know, but I think that there's a path for that happening as I laid out. If you guys are in the Discord, if you want to be in the Discord, you will see every time that I put a pick in there, I am giving reasoning as to why I think it's going to happen. So there's actual thought process that goes into this, not just me thinking that I know about sports. So here's my bet. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, I didn't tell you to bet. I just gave you a little bit of advice. But other than that, you got anything else?
Nope, that's it.
What's going on with the with what we have so far? Please tell me
the Hornets
are doing something.
Hornets are up 5 at the moment.
Okay.
And let's see, LaMelo has 4-2. So
Ooh.
not off to the best start.
I need to see that either that rebound or assist number go up.
Hey, let's take a look at the Heat real quick. Bam,
the 4 points I can live with right now, but
Bam has 2 points and 2 rebounds so far.
How much money do I bet each week, Mike? You're getting a little bit personal here. What do you mean how much money? So I'll let you know. Basically, what I do is I put $100 once it runs out into my FanDuel and DraftKings account, and I play with that until it's gone. Basically, what my unit is, I would say, typically $20. Hopefully, I'm hitting on some of those. So,
I mean,
do I have a budget?
You had built that up though, didn't you? Like, was it like?
Oh yeah, but I took out everything other than the first 100. Like if I hit for a few hundred, I only leave like 100 in there and take out what's on top.
I gotcha.
But yeah, I haven't had to redeposit money in a few weeks, which is nice.
Yeah. No, that's perfect.
But yeah, other than that, get at us on Twitter. Let us know if you want to be in the Discord. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty interactive. There's constantly conversation going on in there about our bets. We use emojis to let people know whether we're tailing them, fading them. If it cashes, of course, we're all celebrating in there. I know today we're all riding with a few of them. So
yeah,
we will see. We pray to the betting gods that these picks hit. But like I said, if you want to be part of that, just send one of us a DM or something on Twitter. We can get you in on the Discord. It is an app that you have to download. But I think that about wraps it up. So best of luck to everybody in your bets this weekend. Get at us if you want any advice. Mike just said have Platt text me the link. So I'll have him do that.
Okay.
Thanks for tuning in. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. Leave us a like. Leave us a comment. Hit that notification bell so you know when we do live shows like this or the fantasy football show, etc., etc. Other than that, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week, and best of luck to you.